Sangmala samji tashidulu shukuyu.
Tashidulu everyone.
Ngöndro peche de nyamdo soro nang.
We will now recite the Ngöndro liturgy together.
Guru Pema Bawo Gandru Sodan Jeba Damje Kukar Songdage Ngaje Loyan Doje Gong Rebaran Jarje Ngobo Dala Ded Radilje Dadan Jede Zilje Dunje Namgara Jembara Inju Jelama Gandruzo Namji Medala Dunje Jeze Dedada Gamzun Zem Jena Sem Loman Denjingan Donam Dezenendrul Bena Warajam Mandodo Injur Bezem Jela Purare Do Benal Jornge Chenga Jene Zudem Benjir Palama Jeje Jone Lenga Yenda Nyumenembar Tente Zango Beden Lamba Le Jawa Jiran Lanju Nerendra Nyam Geje Endero Taranjen de Nidrom Bai Jelama Gandruzo Namji Medage Gozum Jenjelom Medage Gozum Jenjelom Medage Gozum Jenjelom Molazo Dini Lungro Nasalgoba Yinza Lungkutu de Nyamdo Salro Nashugi.
Now we will do the exhalation of still breath for 9 times. We'll do it together.
Laso Tininde Jela and Suzuji Zodo, Mo Sawalamala, Namanguru Rumbaje, Saldap, and Dilani, Tebada Meba, Sejibe, Tone, Solada Mare, and a soldem de Ningo Ruby, Kilne, and a Karasaware, Kido Lenya Malubadam, Chichuna, Karaman, Rosa Me, and a Tagilunga Yisum, Chinja Labronang. Kari chinji la gore se do zana, chwe nyamne yabo yonyada, toba yaban jula jayada, lawar do danda nga zo, ngondro ju tun kumshimba da, ngondro nangne ja, changju ji semrimbo je jeshimba yinsang, changju ji sem chemba ma yinba jula, yabo je jebar sho, kewar chinji labdo sol san dine je so tse ju do tamin jula, lame ji, digire, tete shindo yin sana nawa te song samne lama to jeba chenpo tone ranyi la tim je sozo lunga ye somda lame ko song to som yerme don jo song sam de je la jabro samje je se don zarebe nyamdo song ro na shugi.
Now, as it is time for supplication and receiving the blessings, first of all, visualize Guru Rinpoche on top of the crown of your head. Realize that in essence, he is your root Guru while appearing as Guru Rinpoche. Then, with deep faith and devotion, and bringing to mind that you are the only refuge and have knowledge of all our joys and sorrows, supplicate to bless one's own body, speech, and mind as follows. Supplicate with one-pointedness to give rise to authentic Dharma practice as well as wakefulness, and particularly since we are contemplating the meaning of preliminary practice, of which we are currently contemplating on giving rise to bodhicitta, supplicate that we may be able to generate undefiled bodhicitta within our mind stream. After supplicating thus, visualize that the Guru, with joy and smile in his face, agrees and bestows us all the blessings as requested. Having received the blessings, visualize that the Guru dissolves into light and the light into us, making the body, speech, and mind of ourselves and the Guru indivisible. After that, we will continue with our recitation of the liturgy on going for refuge and giving rise to bodhicitta.
Balden zawe lama rembo tage juru beme de la kaden jemben kone jezon kuzon to je ngondron zaldo zo dezon sanje dam je ngowo lama rembo je tage ju menje jolwara jende lamdos Sablam je doba je baran je jula je wara jende lamdos se denye la ozan zoba lam jo dar je baran jende lamdos de zum sanje dam je ngo lama rembo je dage ju menje jolwara jende lamdos Samlam je doba je baran je jula je wara jende lamdos se denye la ozan zoba lam jo dar je bara jende lamdos de zum sanje dam jende ngo lama rembo je dage ju menje jolwara jende lamdos Samlam je doba je baran je jula je wara jende lamdos Tsedenye lao zalan zoba jembe lam jo dar jinje lam do zo sowan de zo lama rembo je duwe bedu jinje cheji kalme dala reza jule duye yermen je bar jinje lo Dunye zaje jengang bunzo bazam jenge dombo yalga Uzo bema dabdon jebe Zawe lama ngoro bema Rezen jodom jazu gorje ngoro Dundo yedam yanda yeru Chenan jude yedam la yenzo Ezo jemde jaja doba Choju Desum Sanje Namje Guru Jabdo Desum Damejun Menduru Shima Siri Jadanje Yundu Jansim Yarangin Parzam Junjin Yalga Chara De Kandro Damje Damje Tuje Dunga Jelab Sijin Bara Te Dundu Dada Bame Tanye Barme Kanyam Semje Sheme Dene Nyemburu Jam Korue Zune Tardu Zeje Kosum Gobe Jabzo Dowara Enjuru Namo Dada Kanyam Semje Malu Lama Sanje Jedang Kende Da Yedam Bawo Kandro Ju Toje Jede Namla Jabzo Enji Jabyo Namje Was Tashin Je Dede Tamje Jongwara Enjuru Ngonje Jalwa Sedan Je Namje Lame Jan Chodo Doje Tanya Manjuro Kanyam Drogo Penda Ledo Sanje Baraje Oma Re Rezen Bema June Lazo Choju Jabil Namla Jazalo Ozo Jorda Yele Jo Konsan Jeje Namga Gawe Sodara Janjo Zembe Labada Reze Ngaje Damze Nyamje Padang Sozu Jewe Zonam Je Jaze Jeba Jelaje Tayen Rowa Dongal Jurba La Bemba Jedara Zambeju Kalba Jewa Samye Jini Do Jove Dondo Nyangen Nemeda Tage Duzum Sabe Gewa Dogun Chanjo Nyingboro Dom Jirengo Sonam De Dogun Deda De Dungal Gundra Dala Min Dungal Mebe Deda Midal Jin Chugun Tanyam La Nejo La So Ni Danda Ngazo Ni Dambi Chu Zulshindu Drubar Cheba La Chu Ngui Shiwe Ngöndro Kalche Somba Yindu Ni Ngöndro De Nyamzo Lombe Kap Ni Chadegi Yore.
As it is said that the preliminary practice is more important than the actual or the main practice, we are currently practicing or engaging on the preliminary practice.
Kaya Sana Ngöndro De Sheden De Yabu Chungwa Yina Ngui Shi De Nyamlen De Ni Tempo Cheda Pui Dabo Ju Yungu Yobare Ngöndro De Ni Pui Dabo Sana Mendo Yabu Je Chungma Nuna Ngui Shi Lam Yabu Ju Ro Tuku Yomare Chazang Ni Tangmo Ngöndro De Ke Chumba Shara Shaka Yore.
So, why is it important? A proper base or support of preliminary practice is required for an authentic engagement of the actual or the main practice. If a proper support or base is not established, the main practice does not become an authentic practice. That's the reason why a proper preliminary practice is important.
Ni Dene Yindu Ni Ngöndro La Rimba Mangbo Yobale Tanda Ngazo Tumongchi Ngöndro Denzo Songsen Ne Ta Dume Nangi Ngöndro Kala Lebgo Yore De Nanda Da Chabro De Ngazo Sal Tab Sembam Samlo Tang Sembe Ondo Tangche Ta Tanda Nyeba Semje Tanda Semje Jo Lojong Che Dan Denzo Ni Tan Rodang Dreshimba Yimba Re.
So, in engaging on the practice of Ngöndro, there are several stages. We have already gone through the ordinary preliminary or the outer preliminary, and right now we are contemplating on the inner or extraordinary preliminary. Within it, we have completed contemplating or visualizing the first one, going for refuge, and are currently contemplating on the stages of giving rise to bodhicitta.
Nida de indu Changju je semde ane tekjen je lam tamje je zawa am ane hi indu zana ane didan taso na tekwa chumbo lam tamje lang zhogo yore la ane namba tekwa chumbo zhogo je yubi ondo tangna yang dondo tekjen chagi me bare ane tekjen je lam je zawa semje di senso na ane lek kari cheba yena yang sama kewa lan yurtu yore dende ji nyoba chombo dang denbe semje de la tangbo nga rangso lo chu ne anu kamya tabche dang gogo yore.
Generally, bodhicitta is regarded as the root or support of all Mahayana paths. Thus, if one does not grasp the mindset or aspiration of bodhicitta, all the paths become non-Mahayana, and even though in appearance it might appear as a Mahayana path, in actuality it does not become Mahayana path. Likewise, if one grasps the bodhicitta mindset or the aspiration, the root of all Mahayana paths, each and every action one engages on becomes a virtuous action. So, in the beginning, we should try and cultivate this powerful mindset of bodhicitta.
Chodang kanjare se du ani ngoma nga zo samje tamje pama yinba ane samlo dangsa ane katin chenpo yinba samlo dangsa ane ta katin de suyo kogudu nyamba de nga zo samlo dangsa warwa ta ane kare che kudu se du ta kon te dawa samje tamje dewa je tomna chi marung nyamba je lo ju kogu yore ndila ane chamba ala warwa kensa na so katsula tu yongdu dewa tomdo dunda mendo tomdo yorowa di nangshin sozo je pama inare nye kore inare ani zhongba kimse dezo inare ani dene papa kyache yongdu zana zhuwa rode samche tamche dewa dugun shadare ani dewa nangne dewa tamba chodo yoruba de ani karesa kore sanji yung gopang rowa tarba dan tamche jime gopang rowa di rawo dewa chodo yoruba di nang di yu kewa chu cheya mega wo chu pangya ani daga na shindu zuldim dingze sharab la so ba nyamnen roya dinzo samje tamje dewa de dang di dawo chu ani negab je teni toril ha da mi luden tobe jen dewa dang dewa de ro chu ji tomna chi marung ma tomna diksa mare toba de nge chin ne ja chi ge yin ani de chebal la ne sanje da chancho saman namba tamje je thongro ani naronang santa dende je soldem da molam da ani sozo je tamja da kelen je gonne ani kaza ore chamba dene komgo go yure dende la ne kyo zan samlo da rona shugi.
So, how is the bodhicitta cultivated? In our previous sessions, we have contemplated on how all sentient beings are our parents, and then we also contemplated on how our parents have been so kind towards us. Also, we contemplated on the resolution to repay the kindness of our parents, and now continuing with the cultivation, we need to generate or give rise to the wish for all these beings to attain happiness and the causes of happiness. So, this wish is the love. When we reflect on ourselves, we know that we all want happiness. We have the wish for happiness no matter what. Similarly, our parents, our relatives, fellow countrymen, and stretching even further, all beings of the six realms desire happiness, and the ultimate happiness, the superior of all happiness, is the level of perfect Buddhahood. Thus, it is the wish for all beings to attain such happiness, and the causes of this happiness, as well as the attaining the temporary happiness, like being born in the higher realms and so on, and the causes for such happiness, together with the resolution that I myself will bring about this happiness to all these beings, as well as supplicate to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to bestow the same. Moreover, it is the vow and resolution that one makes in bringing about this happiness to all beings of the six realms that we can cultivate love. So now, please contemplate on this for a while.
나서 되는데 제가 semje tamje ane karasa ore 동al je chudan chaldo je lo de la nyingje seme ba se yore chida nyingje samde nazo semje nangpen zon chigi jila de yong yore de la ne chogre we nyingje chenbo ni bo de la kebar yore en tenje chamba yang chiba re ta chogre nyingje ngazo 파 만당 부조다 남편전 제 저기 저 동al 다도 로에나 내 닝제로 와 디디네 닝제 첨부 작업이 말해 닝제 첨부데 섬제 용조 아니 저버지 양 전에 아니 타르바톤도 사나면도 동al에 잘도 로지 쓰기 여러 데려오지 로데네 당보 소소로 용토도 도면도 아니 교스 아니 다져 나오나
After that comes the great compassion, which is the wish for all beings to be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. Generally, the bare compassion or an ordinary compassion is compassion that we might have as a being to another being. But there is a difference in the ordinary compassion and the great compassion. The ordinary compassion is somewhat biased. It is the compassion that we have towards our parents, relatives, and loved ones, the wish for them to be free of suffering and its causes. Whereas the great compassion encompasses the whole being regarding every sentient being equally and wishing all of them to be free from suffering. So first we will reflect whether we ourselves possess this kind of great compassion or not.
So any day jala then ninja one na kande samno tangore series na ale tambongala sozo pama am boju and sozo na chinne je new yogan kansa ji donga shochombo kangla narte ba ina sozo mi dun de la tongsal yo ba ina samje so no sara no samare so tu marwa samje kare dingre te dongal ka tu tarna dongal jille thare ji tabje kare tango sare tene jelo shochombo yongro 디 동아리 섬도 소민이 봐 용그래 디 지바 지야전 아니 섬제 용조라 아나 알레 당몽을 소소지 파마 녀거 보존라서 봐 녀거서 마세 아니 녀녀거로 용조라 다 대지버지양 용이 섬라다 데네 파벨네 정말 짐제 용조라 아니 데로지 동알 레 타르도 절로 섬로당 데네 데자라 아니 그런 jalgab 용조 tene papa pel che mire yongzo tene mama pel ne ani kaso ore ani roa redu ge samje yongzo thamje ta dongal ji kyu tenzo thamje le tar na ji marong tharo nge che gogu du ani tharo nge ma jin na risa mare ani diro thare je thablam yagbu tang ne de ne sanje da janju samba thamje je ngalo tunjur na ro nang ani nge tharo juro shok samanam tabe na wata dene rogo yore dene lani chok samadana.
So how should one approach to generate such a great compassion? We can begin by first imagining someone very dear and close to us as being sick and suffering a lot. It could be one's own parents, one's siblings, or anyone close and dear. How would you feel when you see that person suffering immensely? Would you be able to bear this suffering? Definitely not. You would probably wish their pain to go as soon as possible. Maybe also think of a solution to their sickness, being unable to bear the suffering they are experiencing. Similarly, one should wish the same, not just for one's loved ones, but also to other, starting from one's own relatives, expanding it to one's neighbors, and then all the people within the town, then further expanding it to all countrymen, and then expanding it furthermore to all human beings, and then at last, finally, expanding it to encompass all beings of the six realms, wishing all of them to be free from suffering and its causes. Also, vowing and resolving to lead them to liberation ourselves. Finally, we also should supplicate to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to bestow us the causes and conditions for us to be able to accomplish all our aspirations as well as we should also make aspiration that we may be the one to lead all these sentient beings to ultimate happiness. So now let's contemplate on this kind of great compassion for a while.
So Tandi Dao Rojo Ji Pama Samjin Tamje and Dewa de and Dogoyana Yan Devi Q Yang Dabaji Rushik Yomarawa Tungal Minduna Yang Tungal Ji Yabo Japan Shake Yomare the Negam Samjita Yore Negap Lada Mi Luden Tobe Jengawa Rube Dang Diji Midun Teba Maya Dang Dene Samjure Dela Yang da Chokjinen Rigure Yena Yang da di Takpa Temba Kaimendwa Yang Masana Korwala Mutune Tungal Ngöndro Dewa Kyukzu Yona Yang Mangjawa Tungal Dang and Dene Kangla Nete Yozang and the Tungal Jure Kangla Nete Yure da Tungal Dang Dewa Tosang Oma de Simji Nekangla Tu Drudu and the Simji Takzinda Shambada Leda Nyomon de Kadu Nayang Lutang Yomare Kawachina Dekala Chigure Tekbachina Dekala Chigure Dile Matang Bardo and Nazo Tungal Sayakora Mebare that in Simjim and Pama Garden Chamber Denzo and the Karasura Longa Tangil Luba Nashin and the Chichen Dejeme that Kedrup take one to the Kaya Masha that pass out on Regimendo Denzo Ningrecha Samsam Jada Denzo and the Tarpelam Yanda Baja Twenche and Tarban Roda Tekba Panda Tung and Gawa Drudan to the Yabo Jelago Di malum na kyunen riksa mare lamne konzo je tungal kyure dan je ba tham jela darne sanje ko bang jel ma ko na sanan riksa mare ani de de nge kande china jigi yin nyambal lo je ne ningje je ke go do de ne ningje la ne kyo sam no darona.
All these beings who have been our parents in our previous lives desire happiness, but is unable to properly engage or accumulate the causes for it. Likewise, though they don't desire or want to suffer, they do not know exactly how to get rid of the causes, the 10 non-virtuous actions, and other non-virtuous actions. Yes, normally they do engage in actions that may be the cause for a birth in the higher realm, like God or human. Likewise, they also might engage in actions, uh, engage in action that gets rid of the causes of suffering. But all these happiness are, or the causes of happiness are temporary. Whatever the result at the end, they have to fall back to samsara, even though they might have accumulated some merit to be reborn in the higher realms. Ultimately, they fall back to the samsara and have to suffer most of the time. So the primary reason for all this suffering and happiness equally is our mind. Since our mind is always preoccupied with the sense of self-cherishing, attachment, and karma and kleshas, any actions that we engage on, whether virtuous action or non-virtuous, all are based on that mindset, the mindset of attachment and self-clinging. Thus, until and unless we get rid of them, the suffering will always persist. Therefore, one should generate great compassion towards all our parents, the beings of the six realms, since they are just like a blinded person left in a vast desert, unable to do anything for one's own rescue. Furthermore, one should sincerely vow to show the path to liberation to all the beings, teach them the proper way to accumulate merit, as well as getting rid of all the uh, non-virtues and kleshas. Promise that one will set them free from all the causes and result of suffering, and finally lead them to perfect Buddhahood. So, giving rise to such thought, please contemplate on the great compassion for a while.
So tenen de jala gawa sa me bode samodang go yure tang gawa se de henji dewa dan dewi kyur druba den so tong so na samna de ne chesu yarang we gawa che de mare ene da kansa rang min be hen negap ji ane dewa chung ji samjin den so ji nyong dewa yin na yang de la samjin gawa kum go a ze ya la an khonzo jeng gawa na dewa na kibu de kadu na mutun de denrang chuna yagala de da madan na yagala nyamba je lo na ani dewa nega la da mi ludun tebe je dewa chung ta kazang gawa chungze denre duba yin da yang an tela yang chezo yaran dan gawa kum denzo kadu na mutun ne chena yagala den mutun ne chabar sho chaba ne jawa sejen nam ji chinje lob she la so ba tende je samla da ya da ani ta dile lhab tarung te ma zan dile lhaba ani ka so gore tharba da thamje ji bang go bang dewa thamba de ni ani samje de zo thamna ka zo yak bu ani tene thobe ji kar sa gore ani kyu dan tena ka zo yak bu ani dewa dan devi ji kyu den zo ma dalwa ani te na mo go de kyu den zo che te we ba a tene kang la le ba na yak la nya ba da tene yang shen ka je tene sa da lam yin thoba de na mang bo yu re ta den zo 중소건들 중앙들랑 셔다진 가와다 제주여랑 and the Nekomgo Yurela, Tiroja Samodan Go Yure, that this some ni my Yonzo, Tendeja Sajalem Kane Yabudu, Tendelem not the Pemesikiburuasa, Sama Tungal member Dewajubuchun Yaburua, Dilani, Kandar Shenji, and Negab than Tardo and Dewa and Dewi Kudins, Kang Chewa, Kang Nyongwa. There's a Samala, then it's something Chezu Yaran comedy in Bare, and Delayang, Kyoto Samlotana Shugi.
Next, we will meditate upon sympathetic joy. Sympathetic joy is the kind of feeling that we generate, feeling of joy or rejoice that we generate when we see others or encounter others experiencing happiness or engaging on the causes of happiness. For example, when we encounter someone, even in a ordinary or temporary happiness, we should feel joyful and rejoice and wish for their happiness and joy to last longer and not decrease in any case. Likewise, whenever we encounter others accumulating even a simple merit, an ordinary merit that may result in being born as human or gods, we should rejoice and wish for them to always engage in such actions. Furthermore, we should reflect how much better it would be for them to reach even higher level of perfect Buddhahood and so on. For them to engage in such causes of happiness of the higher realms, never separated from the happiness and the causes for happiness. Likewise, we should rejoice and generate this feeling of joy, the sympathetic joy, for all those beings who have already attained the qualities of paths and grounds. So all the Aryas who have already reached the level of certain level of path and ground, we should also feel joyful and rejoice in their happiness and their attainments. In brief, it is the sincere joys or sincere rejoice we feel for all the happiness that other experience or all the causes of happiness that other engages in. Uh, so and the wish that not just them but all other beings may as well be able to experience and engage in such causes of happiness. So now we will contemplate this kind of joy for a while.
So tene de jala tanyam seme ba de kongo ba yinza ne tanyam se de nyering me ba ne se de phama jibu karin chumbola se kyangome phamba denzo kade chumbo mazi sonu de me bare se de la phamba kade chumbo kazo yemba nashen kyangome phamba denzo kade chumbo yemba danyam re de yore pena sozo subuji laba yeba tubi inda yemba tubi yewa koda yemba kola denzo niga kose kro niga tugu me la kro niga sozo ngone danyam ze yore dor do samje yonzo sozo phamba cheba chibo chen danyam yidu jigyang lue dana de yomare 용조 아니 다르반다 담지지 뭐 고문 고고로와 다디고에 제 고급 상쇼데 단다 미르 된데레 단다 미기 그 상년랑도 된저 야보 신투부 요래 아니 가살라마 개회 신년 된저 자야 고급라게 요래 최된저 냠는 야보 제지 고급라게 요래 다디로지 고급 용두 이는 가서 르마다 용마샤네 아니 고급디 송제 ane samja tamja sanyo babang goya chido chiya malaba chido ne chwe chido yin chik mayu dene chike me yung zon ranyam chene sanyo babang kobar chike nyamba le do la tanyum sege yore dene la kyo tsane samlo tangro na.
Now we will meditate upon equality or impartiality. It is generally it is the attitude devoid of any sense of close and distant. First, we should be able to regard all our previous parents, that is, all sentient beings, as having been as having shown us great kindness, just like our parents of this life. It is not that our parents of this life is kind towards us, but all the sentient beings have been equally kind towards us. So just like if we were to choose our one hand against other, there is no way we would be able to choose any of them because it is equally important to us. So choosing between any of them would not be we would not be able to choose one of them. So similarly, all sentient beings are equal in their kindness as our parents, and therefore we should lead all the beings or bring all the beings to perfect Buddhahood without leaving anyone behind. And to accomplish that, to be able to lead all sentient beings to perfect Buddhahood, the body that we have attained right now, the human birth, is the best best opportunity to lead each and every being to the level of Buddhahood. As a human being, we are able to distinguish between right and wrong, the virtues and non-virtues. Also, we are able to meet an authentic guru and engage in dharma practice. Thus, knowing all that and grasping this opportunity, resolving to lead all beings without any bias or leaving anyone behind to perfect Buddhahood is the attitude of impartiality or equality. So now we will contemplate on this for a while.
나서 Ngöndro beje jungne nyamdo songro nang.
We will now recite the concluding part of the Ngöndro liturgy together.
Zoje damje ojo rang la korwe donga anjele daravara injuru. Injuye rolba jembe jilguru tejen zanga jebe gewa. Tuzum zabe gezo kundu lame janjum nyemburu ngowaranji. Sonam deye daye androwa Chena zavye barje gunje jirimnil Treba darje ne bema jalbe ngoba nyurdoj Sadye la menje la nye la jo yedam gandrol Tripchin ro chegyo zome barje gunza Chodung odun rebe raje shom Oma om badran guru bema zide o bijinde Ele jembe yejene awazan Ome kaye dame Sonjo wambe jodara ngonavi Raje jo be shen jo be ma cheni ngon som ja zen de le lo nyam na gon be ja me ga je re ba ze be ba go dang es jo ze lo de do je lo ga ra ju Dewe de me gombo wadaye nyeje enje jana be moda Kuzun gonde jeme do renza Kando jo be zenjo enje lazo Zendango ye namro dale be njo jembe dunzander 다시 가념 예제 자송 세네버 마당도 이제 와라죠 대야렌 남제 살람라 데네 나 예제 자송 손제라 맹고 바뉴르도 라젠데 녜룬제 로바라죠 Deme da yerme be manju rananda be sando bareji nare yerme manju nyume dene nam da chendo je waraju Gangdo jebe jewa damje do dore yunde dunde do bara Kema dado che dan che jurune zulje jube rawa yub Chudo nene nyembe dundumde Sedre sebe jazu angal Seban dambe cheram dunje Chimbe jubla jungal mebar Labjin shindun chore meba Tamje jamje sanje do barajo Lazo ane sangmala toje je shuguye Kusu toje na ane ngazo jema jayong
Thank you everyone. Take care and we will see you next time.